stood alone in the kitchen of the restaurant where I worked. It was early, still dark outside, and the other staff hadn't yet arrived. And for the first time in months, I prayed. God, Saturday is hard. And you might be wondering why I prayed about Saturday. I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. But God replied with two simple words that were so much more than the sum of their parts. I know. My name is Michal White, and most of you have gotten the chance to meet me or see my videos by now, but I always find it helpful to say my name one more time so that people can get the hang of its pronunciation. It's Michal. It rhymes with Michelle. Michelle, Michal, Michelle, Michal. It's Michal. I was recently hired to be the new pastor of the South Lansing campus of Sycamore Creek. Although for at least a few months, Pastor Tom and I will be leading together as he shows me the ropes and mentors me in this position. And speaking of Tom, I just want to take a moment to thank him and the other folks who have brought me here today. There was a team of people who were part of the interview team. They read through pages and pages of my personal profile of questions that I was asked. They came up with thoughtful questions to ask me and gave me the chance to get a glimpse into the values of Sycamore Creek. They really put in a lot of work, and I'm thankful for their dedication to the future of the church. I also want to mention the vision team, who serve the church in various seen and unseen ways, and who were also part of me joining the team here. I'll share more in a couple of weeks about how exactly I wound up here in Lansing, but I just want to thank them for their part in my story. And I especially want to thank you for the warm welcome that you have given us. You've brought us so many meals. We've had so much good food. You showed up and helped us unload our moving truck. It was unloaded in less than an hour. You welcomed my parents when they were visiting while they were here, and I can tell you right now that we are going to love Lansing. I shared a brief moment of my Jesus story to open. It's from 2014, the year of restoration that followed a year from hell. But my Jesus story began much earlier than that. I grew up in a Christian family. We were part of a small denomination called the Christian and Missionary Alliance. It is a denomination deeply committed to overseas missions and bringing the gospel to people who have never heard. Our church was small and dedicated. There was a core group of families who seemed to do everything together. We were in Sunday school together. We were homeschooled together. We lived in each other's homes for everything from birthday parties to New Year's and Super Bowl parties. And I'll share more next week about how this church community shaped my sense of calling. But it was here that I first experienced Jesus. In middle school and high school, I participated in a Bible quizzing team where I memorized long passages of scripture and began to practice living out my faith. On the whole, I would say my family was quite legalistic. We're very focused on how to live the right way, like you don't have sex before you're married, you don't lie, you don't gossip, you stay respectful to adults, even when they're terrible, don't go into debt, save everything, on and on and on. And so when I graduated from high school, I went to college the right way. I quickly joined a campus ministry. My sister was a senior at that college. It was East Carolina University. So I went to the group where she was involved in, the right group, InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. InterVarsity quickly became my people. They were my friend group, my accountability group, my small group. I began to lead in ways there that I had never led before. I learned how to lead a small group and a team of people. I looked for ways to reach out to people who didn't know Jesus and have spiritual conversations. I discipled friends and other students. I like to say that growing up, we were pretty legalistic, and it was in college that I learned about grace. And then I added it to my list of things to do the right way. I attempted to trust the right way, forgive the right way, and live the right way, which might sound good in theory, but in practice, it meant that I was often scared to take a risk because I was afraid I would do something the wrong way. And it pushed down any emotions that I perceived as negative, things like anger, fear, and sadness, because in my mind, they reflected a lack of faith or trust in God. They weren't the right way to follow Jesus. InterVarsity was also the place where I met my husband, Nathan. We served together on a mission trip to Romania with InterVarsity the summer after my freshman year in college. He was at Virginia Tech, and I was at ECU. We were on the trip for 4 weeks and became good friends. We started dating about 6 weeks after the trip ended, and we got married right after I graduated college.